it's Carla here. I'm the Stitchy Witch and I'm back with another floss tube. Today is Thursday and it's a good day for floss tubing because there is a storm raging outside today. So I thought I would come back and update you on some of my progress and have a little chat and spend a little bit of time with you. I've currently got my cat Misty crawling all around me, so if she makes an appearance, don't worry about that. She'll probably settle down on the seat behind me or in her tower, which is over there. I hope everybody's been well and you've been getting lots of stitching time and enjoying your stitching as well. There she goes, finding a little spot to sit and take a nap. She always likes to be around me wherever I am. It doesn't matter which room I'm in, she's there. She doesn't necessarily want to be on my lap. She was a bit clingy previously, but she's got a lot better at sort of not being so clingy, especially as she knows when I'm doing stuff like stitching, I don't really need her to be sort of stuck on my lap. So yeah, nice little companion. They're so nice to have them around when you are doing your crafts and things like that. So anyway, let's get on with what I have been up to this month. So relatively busy month. I've been doing quite a fair bit of stitching, but I've also introduced another craft into the mix at the moment. So it was my birthday at the end of October, and one of the things that I received as a gift was a sewing machine. Now, I've had a couple of machines in the past, one really good one not so good one, and since I moved abroad, I didn't bring my really good one with me. There was, I hadn't used it very much and I just sort of gave it away to somebody. And so I said, well, I've got everything I need. I really don't need much. So what can I, oh yes, maybe I'd like a nice new sewing machine. So my husband bought me a sewing machine and that's what I've been doing on and off for the past month. I've been making a few little things just to give myself a little bit of a break from the stitching, because as much as I love cross stitch and I don't think I will ever give it up, I think you probably understand what it feels like to really want to have a break sometimes or just do something different, crochet, knitting. And I do every so often go off and do other things just so that I get that variety. So for the moment, I'm just going to talk about the stitching and what I've been up to this month. I have got a fair bit of progress, actually. I always feel like it's not very much, but when I look back at the time that has gone past, it isn't actually that very, it feels like a lot of time, but it isn't actually that much, especially if you consider that most people, I think, don't really stitch from noon till night. I think a lot of people stitch so randomly. Plus, a lot of people are working, so they don't spend a whole day stitching. So given the fact that it's been 4 weeks, I feel like, is that really a lot of stitchy time or is that not a lot of stitchy time? I don't really know. It seems like the month has gone really quickly. Like it just, month by month just disappears. It's quite scary, actually. But anyway, whatever progress it is what it is. So I'm here to show you. So there we go. Let's start with my, not going to start with my full coverage. I'm going to start with my modern folk embroidery piece. This is called Fruits of Plenty. And it is actually a really popular piece. There are quite a few people doing this one on Flosstube. So if you want to check out different colours and styles, all you need to do is search for Fruits of Plenty and you'll get them all up on the screen. Looks like Misty's seen a fly on the window. Go get it, Misty. Go get it. Go get it. She does like a little bit of encouragement. If you hear crashes and bangs now, it's because she's flown up towards the window. Fruits of Plenty is by Modern Folk Embroidery, and there are so many variations of what people are doing with this one. It's actually really difficult to sort of choose your own colour scheme and everything else. Isn't that true? Where did the fly go? Oh, okay, there it is. I see it. Nice big juicy one for you, Misty. She distracts me. There are so many variations in colours and style that I think it's so hard to choose one that you want to do because there's so many that you like. But I decided to go for a sort of grey, well, to me it looks grey, other people say it's green. I decided to go for a greeny grey look with a sort of teal colour in the mix. And this is what I've got so far. I've gone down and done, right in the centre there, you can see there's the little bird coming into view. Can I go forward a bit more? Which side am I on? There's a little bird coming into view, and he is really cute, and that's good progress for me. I haven't really picked this one up hardly at all. I can't centre this. I haven't really picked this one up hardly at all this month because I've been focusing on other things. However, I am really pleased with it, and I really love the colour scheme that I chose. Now that I'm looking at it, I think it's going to look really nice in this room because I've gone for my sort of palette colours in this room is this kind of, I don't know what you call this sofa colour. It's like a burgundy red, and I've got turquoise blues. So I think that's going to match. Just seems to match. Also, the wall directly in front of me is a nice. My feature wall is this sort of colour now, so it's going to look really nice. I'm not sure where I'm going to put it, where I'm going to hang it, but I'm really happy with it. I think this one is going to take me ages though, because it's not one that I'm picking up more regularly at the moment. But what I do know is that things change, and probably next year I might find that I'll just pick it up and just run with it and do a month or so of this in my rotation. It hasn't really been in my rotation this month. So I haven't been actually planning rotations, but I have been aware of the ones that I've been focusing on or wanting to focus on more than others. Let's go on to the Riverwalk charm, which I have in a Q-snap at the moment because I was working on this one most of this week and I've got a good bit done. Riverwalk charm, sorry if I'm not giving you enough information. Riverwalk charm, a lot of people know, is my big piece that I'm working on. It is by Ruane Manning, and it's a heaven and earth design. I'm doing this one on 25 count even weave, and it's got it's only got the 90 colours, but it's actually enough colours, I think. I'm just going to unwind it a bit. I'm not going to take it off the Q-snap because, as everybody knows, when you've got one of these big ones, it's a regular size, I think, mine. It's not an SSMC. When you have a large chart, though, it's really difficult to sort of get it into a Q-snap or into a frame. So, yeah, I don't really want to be taking it in and out all the time because I'm finding that sometimes the Q-snaps can actually damage the material if you're not careful and you keep pulling them in and out. So I did pick this one up this month, and I've gotten further down here. Oh, I've gotten further down to here, and if you look here, you'll see this is actually a little bicycle coming into view. I think it's quite cute. You can see the top of you might be able to see the top of the wheel just there. And I worked on these flowers, more of the tree, and I've done more of this section. So like all this round area, the bottom of the tree and those plants there. And I really love the way those, I see two people in that picture there. I don't know. My husband says he only sees one person with a green handbag. I don't know how he sees a green handbag. I see a bit of green. But to me, I actually see, or maybe that's just my brain wanting to interpret it that way, I actually see two people, like a man with his arm around a woman. Maybe I'm just too imaginative, I don't know. But that is what I see. So, yeah, this is my progress. I've got all this extra that I've got up here, which has already been done. And yeah, that's as much as I've got. I can't remember how many stitches exactly, but I'm still at around 40% on this chart. So I'm not going to be finishing this one anytime soon. Initially, I wanted to finish it by the end of next year. But having set that goal just put a bit of pressure on me, and I just felt the pressure. That's all I can say. So I let the pressures go. In fact, I let the pressure go of everything. And now I'm just picking up whatever calls to me, and then I find that I just naturally gravitate to one or the other, or maybe two or three, and I just rotate them. And goodness knows how I'm going to feel about December, because December's a busy month, isn't it? So we don't get a lot of stitchy time in December as much as we do in other months in the year. But I'm really pleased with it. It's like coming along. It is coming along sort of a bit slower than I'd liked, but I do like the variation of doing other things as well. So I'm not going to cry about it, because in the past I have tried to just be monogamous. It just kind of made me a bit miserable, to be honest. So yeah, I don't know what it is about. I don't understand how sometimes I really want to be monogamous, and then when I do the monogamous thing, it makes me miserable. So how does that even work? I just don't get it. How can you desire something that is ultimately not really working out for you? Do you know what I think it is? I think it's that sometimes we just get bored of looking at the same thing, and that's probably what is the cause, or what attributes to having all the new starts, because we want to see something fresh, we want to see something new. That's not to say we don't love what we're doing. I mean, I totally love this chart, but if I'm brutally honest, I get tired of it, and I think, oh my goodness, am I still doing this one? Have we not finished this thing yet? So there's nothing like an honest wake-up call. But hey, I'll just go with the flow like everybody else. We all go with the flow. I've noticed people saying, I don't know why I didn't stitch on this because I wanted to, and I ended up stitching on that instead of this. And I totally get it. There's so much indecisiveness there's so much sort of pressure between wanting to get some work on something, but not actually wanting to work on it, wanting to work on something new, but still wanting to get the other thing, finished, or to get good progress. It's a really complicated affair, this stitching lark, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to show you now the new one, which I'd started in October. This is called Fairy Whispers, and it's by Lisa Parker. It's not the first Lisa Parker that I have ever stitched. I finished a Heaven and Earth design. It was the first one I ever did back in 2021, possibly around there, and it's called Bewitched, and there are videos on my channel which are showing the finished result, all framed and finally finished. So I thought it's high time I did another Lisa Parker. This was a total whim thing for me. I just watched Carolyn, is it Mazio? I hope I haven't butchered her name. Carolyn I think it's Mazio. Carolyn. She has had a floss tube for a number of years, and then she kind of took a break and came back. And she had started working on this chart that I'm going to show you, and it's called Fairy Whispers. And the colours just blew me away. I just love the colours. They just stunned me. These beautiful greens, such a variation of greens and turquoise. I'm really sort of taking to turquoise at the moment. It's something that I never really thought sometimes I go through phases of really, really loving a certain colour or a shade or a tone. Is that the sun actually coming out? Goodness me, we had such a storm. Fairy Whispers by Lisa Parker. Now I started along the top of this one. This is 22 count hard danger. I had a huge amount of this material which I wanted to start using up. And I've gone all the way, I started on the other end of this chart, and then I came up to here. And that's as far as I've gotten. So I'm just on the trees at the end here, and I'm really enjoying it. I've got a lot done up here. I started doing some blocks. I was doing diagonal. I keep changing my method all the time. That's the other thing. I don't really want to get into that again because every month I keep talking about the different methods that I keep changing. I can't seem to make up my mind ever. But I think I'm relieved to know that I'm not the only one that has this let's change technique every 5 minutes. Karen Needlebug, if you're watching this, you are my stitching sister. I can imagine you, I can just hear you laughing because you know what it's like. Every week it's something different. But yes, I'm starting to do blocks again. Yes, and I had been doing a little bit cross country, but I'm always very cautious to do that when I don't have a grid. And I think I just like the more uniform, the more steady, let's go bit by bit on this one. I don't want to go completely crazy all the way down because once I've got too many stitches everywhere, I start to get a bit anxious. It just makes me really anxious. It's like when you look at your laundry basket and all the clothes are like tipped over onto the floor and you've got socks over here and other stuff over there and it's a huge part. You just want it all back in the same place. It has to be neat and tidy. You can't have all these things like, spread around everywhere. It just makes you very nervous and anxious. And it doesn't look great, does it? Okay, so that's Fairy Whispers. I don't know how many stitches I did exactly. I just know that I just done a little bit more progress. I probably on that one, I did about 500, I'd say, probably not more than that. Fairy Whispers is not one that I'm picking out all that frequently. Excuse me, I'm just going to take a sip of my drink. Because I don't want to feel like I have to finish it by a certain time. I don't want to feel like I have to rush things. I just want to enjoy them. I really just want to enjoy them. I'm trying to find that happy medium of enjoying things rather than feeling obliged to have to work on them. Okay, so the one I really was keen and excited to show you today is The Home for the Holidays by Thomas Kincade. Now, I really didn't know when I started this one whether it was going to be a piece that I really loved or not. Something about it really appealed to me. The whole design, it was like very nostalgic looking, very traditional looking. It had a sort of sweetness to it, to the scene, the people standing on the mother and son or daughter standing on the porch waiting for guests to come and arrive. It's probably Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve, and it tells a little story. And sometimes I like things that tell a little story. It's a bit more interesting than just looking at I don't know, a plain object or something that has a little scene in it. Sometimes it's just sweet, isn't it? So I wasn't sure, but I wasn't sure whether I was going to keep this one up or whether it was going to be a UFO. But I surprised myself and I actually did keep up with stitching on this one. And here is what I didn't show you all my previous what things looked like before, did I? I'm completely useless. I'm sorry about that. My previous video has got all the all the footage of what they looked like last month. So if you go to the October video, you'll get to see everything there. I'm really sort of disorientated today. I don't know what's wrong with me. I need a good coffee with maybe a touch of brandy or something, just to give me a little energy boost or get my brain into function, because it doesn't feel like my brain's working today either. But that's nothing new. Okay, so here we have Home for the Holidays. And oh my goodness, I'm liking this one more and more the more I get to work on it. I just love it. This is almost my favourite piece at the moment. Riverwalk Charm. Did I say Riverwalk Charm was my favourite piece? Because now I'm thinking this one is my favourite piece. Just look at how pretty that is. And I've gotten to work on much more of this roof done here. And that's more or less what I've been working on for the whole of this month. So more or less this quadrant, my goodness me, I can't move my finger opposite to the screen. That's so disconcerting. So if I move my finger left, it's moving right on where I'm looking at the screen. So yeah, this whole area is what I've been working on. And I just love it. I think it's got a lovely, sweet little thing to it. It's just, I just like how the whole thing comes together. It's so soft and sort of neutral and pastely, no huge bright colours anywhere. Sort of like it just really does look like a painting, doesn't it? And again, this is 25 count, so it's a mini. I mean, don't knock all the minis that are out there. I know some people say don't do minis because they lack detail, but not all of them need a huge amount of detail. And even though this one has got small details, I feel like the style of it doesn't deteriorate the overall effect if you have a mini. So yeah, you do need to look at the mock-up to see whether it's something you like. If you don't like how the smaller objects appear in a mini version, then maybe you want to go for a larger size. But I'm quite happy with that. And if I hold it a bit further back, you can still appreciate the smaller details even when you hold it back. And it actually invites you to go up a little bit closer just to make them out a little bit more. Not everything has to be stark and transparent and completely visible. Sometimes it's nice to just go, oh look, there's a little dog. It is a little dog, not just a little smudge or a blotch on the canvas. So I'm getting towards the end here, and I've currently reached 69%. So I actually do want to get to 70% before the end of this year. I think that's totally doable, because especially if I get to do a bit more of the blocky work up here. That is more, what's really confetti in this one is those windows. Holy moly, how can you have like 30 different colours in one of those little windows? But you can, obviously. So I'm really pleased with this one. And the more I look at it, the more I love it. So yeah, I'm so happy with this piece. If I get this one finished next year, I'll be really happy. I don't want to put it down. I've been consistently working on it throughout the year. I thought I might just leave it as a Christmas piece, but no. I was quite happy to keep plodding along here and there, and I think it makes a huge difference. If you want to get something, if you want to see a good amount of progress by the end of the year, don't put it away. Just kind of keep it in the picture and pick it up as and when. Just do a few stitches here and there, and you'd be surprised how it builds up. And by the end of the year, you've actually got a lot more done than you would have got if you just kind of stuck it away in a cupboard. So this one will be finished. This one will be finished next year, I'm sure of it, because I'll only have 30% left, and there is only about 80,000 stitches in total on this one. So it's not the biggest piece in the world, but it's a nice size. It's a really good size. And I think that's going to go up in this room at Christmas, maybe somewhere behind me. I'm really going to frame it, and yeah, totally love. I actually want to work on it again now. So I've been picking up most of my stitching in the evenings. During the day, not so much. I found that my preference is not for stitching during the day. I don't really like it. I much prefer stitching in the evening when I can really relax. I know I don't have to rush off to do something, to get something done, whether it's housework or appointments or grocery shopping or whatever it is, going out, meeting someone for a coffee, meeting people, tidying up, all the little things that you have to do, the multitude of little things you have to do during the day. I don't really like so many interruptions. So I much prefer actually doing my stitching in the evening, and that's when I get the majority of my stitching done. But now that I was saying I've got a sewing machine and I've started making a few little things again, I've really started enjoying that. And I made a couple of things. Cool. One of them here, a couple of things here, just to get me back into doing some different crafts. I made like a cute little patchwork project bag, and it just, oh, I was just having a bit of fun with stuff and seeing how it goes. That's the back. Because I do like patchwork and things like this, so I want to do more of them and see if next year I will be into making more of them or not. So we'll see if time would allow me to do some more things. Made a couple of little fun purses. There's another smaller one with the zipper pouch. I know how some of you guys like making these as well, and it's always good to get some inspiration from other people as well. And I made a little patchwork purse, just a fun crazy one with different materials, different designs. Yeah, so I'm sort of enjoying doing that in between the stitching as well, and we'll see how that goes. Next year I might make a few more of them, and maybe have my own Etsy shop if I'm lucky. If I'm lucky, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see if I get time to do them, if I get to do ones that I really love. I don't know yet. We'll see. It would be a nice thing to do, actually, as well as the stitching, because I'm not going to give up the stitching. I love the stitching and I want to keep doing it, and I do want to see a finish at some point though, because I feel like I don't get enough finishes, and that's literally why I did the small petite dimensions in September, because I just desperately needed to do something and finish it. I didn't care what it was. I could have chosen a much smaller one than the dimensions, but that was the one that I had, and I thought I'm going to challenge myself to do this in 4 weeks, and I did it, so it wasn't all that bad. So what am I thinking about in December? Well, I still feel like I want to keep going, obviously, with Home for the Holidays. I still want to keep going with this. So that's definitely staying in the picture in December. Riverwalk charm is always in the picture. I can't put this one away, because this is the one that this is a bit like my baby. I've been nurturing this one for months and months. Like, when did I start this one? 2019, the very end of 2019, but I didn't work on it. The first half of 2020, I didn't work on it very much. So sometimes you can say years, but you didn't actually do much, say, for certain parts of the year. So I so want to keep going with this one, because if I don't, I feel like I'm never going to get to the good stuff now, which is the there's loads of buildings on this side of the chart, and I want to get to that, and I want to sort of see more progress that way. I'm never going to do that if I put it away. I'm also afraid to put it away, because I feel like if I put it away, I'm not going to pick it back up again, and it'll be harder for me. I find that the longer things have gone away for, the harder it is for me to get them back out and start working them again. I don't know why that is, and I don't want that to happen. So yeah, it has to stay in the picture. If it's ever going to get finished, it has to continuously stay in the picture. So that's going to be in the rotation again for December. Again, Fairy Whispers, I want to see more progress in this one. But I also wanted to bring back my Sad Fairy and work on her, but I don't think I'm ready yet for Sad Fairy. I don't know why. She's just still not calling to me. She's gone to sleep under a stone, and she doesn't want to talk to me at all. Just not calling to me. So the day that happens, and it will, but it's not happening yet, she will come out. I feel like when I finish this one, I will come back with either Sad Fairy or one of the others. Oh, there's another one that I started that I want to get back to. It's called Butterfly Port Mauve by Jenna Della Grataglia, and I'd started that one again because I watched a YouTuber did one, and I thought it looked gorgeous, and I wanted to do one, and I've only got like 8% or something done on that. So that's another one for next year, to bring out for next year. So I feel like in December, I'm going to pretty much continue with the same rotation, But next year I'm going to have one out of this rotation so I can bring another one in. And I think that's probably a good way to go. I've been really good at resisting temptations to start new charts. I'm usually very good at resisting temptation. Every so often I fall into the hole and I just cannot climb out no matter what I do. But I'm more or less pretty good at resisting temptation. I mean, I've never had more than 15 charts, say, at any given point. Never. I think once I start going up past 10, it starts to get a little bit hairy for me. And I have to kind of rein it all back and either UFO some or put some away or whatever it is. But I've got to maintain a bit of order. Otherwise, I just feel like this has all gone a bit crazy. What is going on here? And I have to kind of correct it and bring myself back to sanity, let's say. Not always great at doing that, but I do try. And usually I'm quite happy with whatever it is I'm doing. And, you know, it's okay when you get tired of something. It is okay to just put it away. I mean, there is no one going to say to you, hey, you've got to keep working on that. No, I don't think so. I mean, in all the 3 years now that I've been stitching, I keep telling myself it's not worth the stress of worrying about it. It really is such a small deal in comparison to so many other decisions that you have to make in life that are so much more important and impactful on your life. But when it comes to the sewing, which is a hobby, the stitching, which is a hobby, you really can just do whatever you like. And even if that means having new starts all the time, as long as you can afford them, you know, and it's not making other people in your life miserable, go ahead. I just feel like everybody's different, and I've noticed that watching so many videos. Everybody's different. They all work in different ways. They all, you know, get inspired in different ways, have different motivations and different goals. It's a joy to see so many different people doing things so differently. And yeah, I'd have to say, I'd probably, if it wasn't for all of you guys, my friends out there and just people that I generally, you know, watch every so often that have inspired me. If it hadn't been for all of you, I don't think I would still be stitching today. I probably wouldn't have that inspiration and motivation. I feel like I really need that inspiration. I really need that feedback and that joy that comes from interacting with you. Otherwise, I now feel like I'm not sharing this with anybody. What's the point of even doing it? I know that people say you should do it because you love it, because it's, you know, it helps you. That's all well and good, but I feel like I'm sort of very much also a very social creature, and I like sharing, and I like inspiring as well as being inspired. So yeah, that's my little spiel. I didn't know which way it was going, but that's the way it went. I'm looking again at this one and I'm thinking, I want this one back in my rotation again. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Where is it all going to end up? I don't know. Let's see. Anyway, I think that's pretty much everything. I don't think I have anything extra to tell you, and there's nothing new or exciting. I will be going away for the Christmas week. I will be going to Ireland with my husband. My husband is from Ireland, and we will be going there for the whole Christmas week to spend with his family. So that should be fun. And I know you're thinking, are you taking any travel stitching with you? I don't think so, because, and I'll tell you why. I don't have anything really small enough at the moment that I've got on the go that I want to take. I'm only taking a very small cabin luggage. I know that particular week, Christmas in particular, is going to be filled with a lot of people around and visiting family and running around the place. And I don't think I'm going to get, if any, stitching time at all. I don't think I'm going to get anything. Maybe 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. I don't think that's going to be worth it, really. I'm afraid I won't want to take one of my full coverage pieces because it's just too much. Too many threads to have to take with me, too many bits and pieces. I'm not going to be able to sit down and do that. You know what it's like. You go somewhere, you don't know if you're going to get the right lighting, you don't know if you're going to be comfortable, you don't, and also I don't want to be rude and be sitting in a corner stitching and ignoring everybody. So I don't think that's going to happen. However, I will probably take some of my knitting with me because I think knitting is something you can more easily just pick up and throw down. If I took a little small cross stitch, it means starting a new one. And you're saying, well, that's an excuse for a little new start. But I don't want new start at Christmas. I want to continue working on these until I go away. And then I want to enjoy myself. And I want to stitch for a week. I want to have fun. And I want to eat. And I want to drink. And I don't want to do the same as I do every day in my normal life. I just want a complete change for a week. But I will take a bit of knitting because there will be moments when maybe you're on your own for a little while, you've got nothing to do. So I'll take a book because I can catch up on my reading then because I have so many books that I want to read. If you could only see the shelf that is behind you over there that has so many books I'm waiting to read, and I never get around to reading them because I always, as soon as I start reading them, I start thinking, oh, maybe I could do some stitching instead. So I'm having a little battle between reading and stitching usually. I do sort of read more when I go to bed at night. So it'll be a book and it'll be my knitting or crochet and no other crafts, just relaxing, spending time with people and enjoying the Christmas week. So that's the only plan I have for this year, the only plans that I have for this year. I have no more plans. And sometimes I like it like that. I don't like to make too many plans because too many plans for me feels like a work agenda. And I've had too much of that in my life to want to make my life so tight with plans. I think I like a bit of fluidity and I like tentative plans, but I don't like to seal them down to having to do things. Sometimes you just got to leave space in your life for other things to come in and other things in life that will just naturally come in if you allow them to and don't stick to rigid things. So that will be it, and I will be back before I go and I will update you again before the end of the year. That's for definite. So I don't need to say Merry Christmas yet. I'll wait until I get to the end of the year. So before I go away, I will definitely come back and update you again. And we'll see how much further I've got on these pieces at the end of, well, not quite the end of December. I'll probably be back about the third week of December, just before Christmas, hopefully, end of second week. And give you another update. So until then, I just want to say thank you to all of you. As always, you mean a lot to me and I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your time. I appreciate just being able to interact with you and show you my things and discuss stuff with you. It really is so enjoyable to watch your videos too and to keep up with what it is you're doing. I don't always comment on everybody's videos, but I do watch a fair number and I like to keep abreast of what people are working on and how they're doing and hopefully doing okay. And just keep inspiring me and hopefully I inspire you. And it's just lovely the way the crafting world works, isn't it? Just as it should be. So with that, I will love you and leave you and wish you a wonderful day. I don't think I'm going to get much of that here in Scotland, but fingers crossed we might get a little bit of blue sky later on if we're lucky. And I will see you again very soon, guys. Take care, God bless, and see you again. Bye for now.